that uppercut, leave you laid out on the floor. Try to duck and roll, hit and miss, now you counting stars. Should've practiced more, should've hit the mask, get out that more. Claim that you're the best. You gotta show me, son. Actions over words, baby boy. Is you real or what? Talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports,
What's good? WCS back at it once again. Big shout out to the first in the building. Big Blunts and Boxing. Let's get it. Salute OG. How you feeling there, Blunts? The GOAT is on deck. WJ Luckett in the building. Salute WCS. July 29th can't get here fast enough. Fish fry. Two times hashtag. Two times undisputed. Yes, sir. Heavy is the head that wears the crown. You understand me? Yes, sir. You already know. Shout out to Mr. Golden in the building. WCS, what's up, fam? What's going on with it, OG? How you feeling today, man? Salute to you. Hopefully all is well your way, brother. You know what I'm saying? Wouldn't want to see it no other way, man. You know what I'm saying? Boxing fan talk on deck. Salute to you. NYT on deck. Dan on deck. Jay on deck. What's good with it? So, we have another hot grease topic, of course. People trying to, say that I'm just doing live streams on Terrence. And I say, damn, I just don't see you donating to the channel. I don't see what concern of it is yours. You know what I'm saying? Who I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? I mean, obviously, or you're just looking at the thumbnail to pay attention to what I'm talking about. But let's get down to the thumbnail. That is the one and only pound for pound best. Terrence Bud Crawford with 2-time in the back. I just got to prep everybody's psychological mindset. You know what I'm saying? I gotta pretty much keep their mental psyche on the correct time. That's all. Because the clock is ticking away to July 29th where everything changes. Everything changes. Vegas will be lit. It will be a star-studded attraction. You know what I'm saying? And you will have two of the best boxers in the sport today, both campaigning on the pound for pound list, man, for quite some time now. They will finally get it in. July 29th, championship showcase, the main event for all the welterweight crowns. Once again, I repeat, for all the welterweight crowns. Now, I must remind y'all now that Terrence Bud Crawford has already completed his ascension to the championship pinnacle before. He stands in the pantheon of boxing when it comes to the undisputed titles. Yes, he's been there already. Y'all know he's been there already. But he's daring to be great again. So with being great, he has picked up a championship by defeating a very tough, big, strong Aussie fighter in Jeff Horn. The same Jeff Horn who defeated Manny Pacquiao. And he has since closed out all his opposition. You know what I'm saying? The listeners and their ears need to be reminded that this man has closed out all his competition at welterweight. So now, finally, he's able to return to familiar grounds. He's here to attempt to become two-time 2-time undisputed now. Out of all the history of boxing, or all the great names, man, you know what I'm saying? This man is attempting to become and will become 2-time undisputed come July 29th. That is absolutely astounding. You know what I'm saying? That's a phenomenal feat. But in between time, we have to speak about this boxing talk. I want to take y'all back to words that was said by Crawford-Spence himself. And I have questions. I really do have questions, because with my questions, I can't exactly put the GPS on the right coordinates on what source that I can pull up to and ask the questions to get the answers that I wanted. Because I'm going off something based off his own words. And I'm just trying to find out, people. I'm just trying to find out. Silent Ski on deck. Pablo on deck. What's good? Andy said, I can't wait for Crawford to prove all the doubters wrong. Yes, you know what I'm talking about. See, me and Andy, we linked up. See, I'm not like proving. It's not about proving, because listen, when somebody doubts you, what is the reason for them doubting you though? Like I asked for the reason why they switched up the way they did. What is the reason, Andy, that they're doubting this man, that he can't get it done? That's my whole deal. Like, what brought you to the divide that you had to basically make the decision to say, damn, I'm supporting him, but I don't want to support him no more. I want to jump over here to the other side and support this other guy. I'm talking about, are you truly being genuine with yourself, honest with yourself, that you're not supporting Spence just to go against the grain for the fighter that you truly support? You playing both sides, really? You doing it discreetly? I don't know, bro. That's what I'm trying to say. It's like certain people out here is just jumping over to the other side just to go with the flow. You don't have to. Stand your ground. If you rocking with Bud and you find that he's the unpopular, you know what I'm saying, consensus in certain people's narratives, but yet he's the most popular consensus when it comes to the algorithm on the YTC, then you need to just take a time out, chill, and say, let me go with my heart and let me get my mind on track. You know what I'm saying? So I can dial this all in. Just like Spence been saying, he got to stay focused. Y'all got to stay focused on this shit, y'all. Stay focused, man. Stay focused. Don't listen to the narratives out here. Go with your heart. Go with what you know to be true. Go with everything that's proven that Crawford is him. That's all. The Bednar's coming out higher on the pound for pound list, better opposition, better body of work. You know what I'm saying? Overall better skill set, higher ring IQ. You know what I'm saying? The hottest topic on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? The hottest topic on YouTube. The hottest topic on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? They're going to continue to talk. Every time you turn around, someone's doing what I'm doing and creating another thumbnail to talk about who they believe is going to win. That's all. For real. It's going to be naysayers out there, but I don't care about the naysayers, though. They've been talking about Bud all wrong for the longest. Yes, sir. They continue to do it, man. Yeah, Jeff Horn. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Absolutely. Absolutely. We got to mention Jeff Horn. 18-0 at the time he was defeated. Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? You know Bud going to be in beast mode on weigh-in on 28th. Let's go, Bud. Absolutely, man. He's in beast mode right now. The man's been training and doing what he was doing. I haven't been to the camp, but when you put your training footage out there for the world to see, which direction you gonna go? You're gonna go in the direction of the footage that's out there. You know what I'm saying? One fighter just now starting to put edited promo clips out. When you see Bud out there doing road work and shadow boxing and doing what the fuck he's supposed to be doing long before the fight was announced. So I'm putting my money on like who's in better shape right now. And is Crawford the type of fighter that you want to play catch up with. No, you don't want to play catch up with a fighter that's locked in the way he is. There's no greater motivation than becoming the first ever two-time undisputed champ. I agree, man. I agree. I agree with that. You know what I'm saying? I agree. So let's get down to some questions, right? We're gonna go the seconds out. It was a media scrum. Radio Raheem. I dealt with him in the past. It's not about him though. But anyway, he was on the media scrum and he was able to present some questions. But that was, some is dealing with Radio Raheem and the other one was dealing with some other media personalities that's asking these questions at the presser. Okay. So let's get started right quick. And if you're in the building, you do me a favor and hit the like button. I would appreciate it. Hit the button. You know what I'm saying? I would truly appreciate it. And also, if you want to donate to the channel, the Cash App is scrolling across the bottom of the screen. Let's get down to it. Let's get down to it, shawty. Let's get down to this. You feel me? We want answers. I need answers.
Saying that he made this fight happen. Who made the fight happen?
It definitely was me. Because I made concessions to make the fight happen, and it was basically my decision that the fight was gonna happen because basically even we had the bet 5 years ago. I gave him that and some, to make this fight
happen. Let me clear my throat. Excuse me. I want to be clear. I don't want any type of distorted audio when I commence to asking these questions. So you just heard Errol Spence say, definitely. When this was mentioned on ESPN First Take, right? Terrence Bud Crawford said he called up Errol Spence. Errol Spence did not one time say he called up Terrence Crawford. And you got to think about the very, very short time frame. I'm talking about the short time frame between Terrence Crawford stepping out of the ring on the 10th of December 2022 and calling up Errol Spence in January 23. Very, very tight window, right? But when asked the question about who made the fight, Errol Spence says the B-side, the Omaha Monster, the B-side, right? And that I gotta take you back. The Omaha Monster that hasn't fought anybody, him did shit in boxing, him did nothing, hopped to sit at the pound for pound list. I'm talking about, in the eyes of the naysayers and the mongerers that's been hanging out, you know what I'm saying? Loitering, you know what I'm saying? These hating ass loitering boxing fans, they said, pretty much the B side. That's all I kept hearing when it comes to the business side of things. The B side now. Now, hold up now. The B side, yo. The B side. The B side, bro. We're talking about the B side. The guy who hasn't fought nobody. Errol just said the guy ain't fought nobody, man. Come on, man. Let's be honest. You ain't fought nobody, man. You ain't going to catch Moby Dick with a hook. Okay. I get it. This, I need you to elucidate for me, dear Mr. Spence. I am trying to just narrow this down to some reasonable solutions as to why the B side, Terrence Bud Crawford, who you mentioned haven't fought nobody, why would you provide him concessions? Why, brother? It doesn't make any sense to nobody. If you just got out of a press conference and you saying, man, come on, man, you ain't fought nobody, man, come on, you ain't fought no. So if you're trying to just speak off the cuff, right, and the cameras are rolling, and you say this man that you just made concessions to haven't fought nobody, pretty much Your trainer has been on record as saying somewhat the same sentiments. Who is he fault? Mr. Grumpity Grump, Grinch himself. Oh, he ain't for nobody. Well, what about the 10 fighters he stopped at work? Man, don't nobody care about that. So you and your trainer must have rehearsed the resistance, you know what I'm saying, and say, you know what, when we actually, deliver our insurgency, we're going to right here. He ain't fault nobody. But it doesn't make sense to a person like me, right? That you have made concessions. You have got in front of the camera lens and said that you were the one who made the fight. And you mentioned a bet that y'all shook on where you came in, you limped in at 100 grand, and Crawford raised you 900. Am I right or wrong? Am I right or wrong, Spence? Did Crawford not raise you? Did he not raise you 900 grand? He raised you 900 grand and he got you to bite on it. You called. If we're playing poker, you called. You say, let's bet 100 grand. And Crawford said, let's bet $1 million. And he got you to call that bet. Now you're in front of people in 2023 and you're saying that you gave him that concession. Now, I'm going to be honest with you, bro. I'm going to be honest. In all reality, I don't understand how a man can be the B side. Bud starts with a B. Backup starts with a B. You know what I'm saying? Beside starts with a B. Behind starts with a B. Brother starts with a B. I'm just trying to find out all these words that means, not at that position, but maybe outside of that position or behind that position. You know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to determine, why would you provide royalty to the B side? $1 million bet that y'all made, in your words, 5 years ago. Why would you give Crawford somebody who hasn't earned that shit? How did this all come to fruition? Brother, I need answers. Real talk, man. How can you say you agreed to put $1 million into the agreement for what? I want to know, man, for what? Why did you do it? Why did you do it? Why did you do it, Spence? This guy is the B side. Terrence Crawford is the B side. Why did you do that? It's a lot that's not adding up that your people don't want to speak about. But WCS will bring it to the light. Why did you give this man $1 million concession, which is a whole hell of a lot of money? And he, in your words and your coach's word, your trainer's words, right? That this man ain't fought nobody. So why are you all paying high dollar for something that you have appraised at the lowest amount? You know what I'm saying? You have appraised him as being just barely qualified. Thank God he has a title. If he didn't have a title, he wouldn't be qualified to step in the ring with you. So I'm asking, why does this B side and Terrence Bud Crawford, why is he receiving this royalty during the negotiations? And you said that you gave him concessions to make the fight happen. Why is he desired for you to appease him with concessions? I don't understand what this means. I don't understand your reasoning. Can somebody in the chat tell me, why would you give the B side? I need everybody out here that's a part of the business, all of you business associates out there, all you business affiliates, shakers and movers. Can someone drop me something in the chat or something in the DM to let me know why this man is providing royalty? Why is he being treated with such hospitality to make this fight if he hasn't met the qualifications to do so? The man clearly receives criticism every time his resume is brought up. And resume is based off what? Your accolades. And your accolades provide you what? Leverage. So therefore, if your accolades, Terrence Crawford's accolades and his resume and body of work, right? If that is what y'all going off of, and Terrence Crawford himself, he's going off his leverage on what he's earned up to this point in his career. If what we've been hearing and the people don't think it's enough, and they keep on saying he ain't fought nothing but bums, right? He ain't fought nothing but bums. And Errol Spence has been on record saying his toughest fight with Kell Brook. The same Kell Brook who Terrence Crawford finished in 4 rounds. How can you give this man a $1 million concession? Does anyone in the chat? Let me go back. Let me go back. Excuse me. I'm about to. Yeah, everything clear with that? We all locked in. I'm about to jump off this cliff a little bit and pull my parachute and parachute down, to common ground. I'm going back down to ground zero. I want to go back to where the tragedy hit. That's the only way I'm going to source. I'm going back to ground zero, right? When these guys initially met up 5 years ago, and I want to speak to the spirits. Real talk. I got to go back in time, dog. So once again, I talked about the Bermuda Triangle before. I'm about to goddamn parachute in that bitch, and I'm in search of the spirits to try to explain this shit to me. Somebody got to have the fucking answers. How can you get on stage in a recent press conference and say this man ain't fought nobody? Your coach is saying the same fucking thing, and I'm listening, and I'm saying to myself, well, how will I provide you with $1 million concession to make the fight, and you won't deserve it? You ain't did shit to deserve that. That's what they saying. He ain't deserved it. He ain't deserved that. He ain't fought nobody. The only reason you got the fight with Errol Spence is why? Because you have the WBO title, right? So if that's indeed the case, and we Windexing everything else, we Windexing the fuck out of it. Nothing else to be said. We just going off the welterweight title defenses that he had right now. Everything else is Windexed. How can this man, the A side, make concessions for the B side, and 100% of everyone that heard it don't understand it? Because if they're going to push narratives out here and pollute the waterways, then goddamn it, we need to find a team that can come clean it up. And that's why I'm here. I'm here to ask the questions to clean up the pollutants and the contamination. Why in the fuck did this man get $1 million and he haven't even threw a punch yet? He hasn't even threw a punch July 29th. Why has Errol Spence appeased this man with $1 million bet, and it was for the winner of this fight? It wasn't for who put the pen to paper first. What is this $1 million about? That's what I want to know. What is this $1 million about? Let me break to the chat. Let me break back to the chat. Maybe someone in here gave me the answer I'm looking for. I need to go back to the chat, goddammit. I need to go back to the chat and see if somebody put the answer in that. Somebody put the answer in this bitch. Let me see. I know it's out there. And matter of fact, when you put your comment in the chat, can you put a beacon on it? Can you attach a beacon so I can kind of zone in on the beacon? You know what I'm saying? Because I'm a little bit older now, and I tend to skim over comments. Let me see. Bud gonna be in beast mode on weight on the 28th. I'm looking for that answer to the $1 million concession. Why would you do that for Bud Crawford, though? Somebody has to be close to Omaha. Come on now. Do we have a meteorologist in the chat? Maybe I can, sort of kind of get some data from if the wind blew a certain way leading up to the press conference, that somebody picked up some residue out of the breeze and they picked up some audio, and someone may have leaked this information as to why Errol Spence gave Bud Crawford $1 million concession. Because to the aerosexuals, right? I have to ask you this too. When you continue to push this narrative that Bud Crawford ain't did shit, he don't deserve nothing, he has no leverage, and he should get goddamn 20-30%. All the shit y'all was saying in 22 and y'all still continue to say this shit in 23. I'm asking you, if Terrence Crawford is the B-side, how in the hell did Spence provide this man a concession without a single punch being thrown? Any one of y'all, don't let me start naming channels now. Because I just need for you all to answer me that. It can go for any one of y'all. Advisors, managers, promoters, groupies, cheerleaders, sparring partners, bucket holders, mouthpiece holders, janitors, anybody who may be close to the situation, parking lot sweepers, anyone who's close to the situation. I want to put a stop to this shit. Why would Errol Spence say on camera that he provided the B-side with $1 million concession, which is a hell of a lot of money, if one punch have not been thrown yet? Maybe y'all can find some of these channels that's all about the business. I need to know some answers. Let me keep going. It's always cracked me up when they say Spence is more technically sound. Right now, Dan, look, this is the sound I'm trying to dial in, Dan. Maybe you and maybe you have a connection over there in Texas. But what I want to know is, based off all the evidence that I have collected, I have heard all the defamatory remarks against Bud Crawford, and like this man has no leverage to come in here and deserve guarantee money. But this man has been on record saying that, man, come on, man. We know you ain't you. I'm Moby Dick. Man, you ain't fought nobody. You think you're going to catch Moby Dick with a fishing hook. So since you're the big fish, why does it seem like Bud is the one surfing in on the biggest wave? $1 million wave, brother. Why is Bud being concessioned with $1 million and y'all haven't even thrown a punch yet? I need answers. I know somebody in this motherfucking chat got the answer, dog. When Bud whooped Spence, and we know Spence be beating up Charlo in sparring 3-time undisputed legendary prices. Hey, let's go. Blunt say, so Errol, if you are the reason it's happening, you must have been the reason it wasn't happening. Somebody's being sneaky. See, somebody's being sneaky, very clever. Someone's abusing the left and right hemisphere of their brain. Don't allow people to start troubleshooting. That was very clever. I like it. If you're the reason it's happening, you must have been the reason it wasn't happening. I like it. Yes, sir. So now it's all about who had the leverage. They always said, Blunts, they said that Spence had the leverage. Spence can dictate it. He's the heavy lifter. He has 3 belts vice the 1 belt that Bud has. Okay, we know that shit to be true, but come on now, help me figure this shit out. I need some more direction. I've been having my compass out. You know what I'm saying? I got the old school compass, got GPS, and the shit is not giving me any destination. I put in all the coordinates to Texas. I swear to God, that shit is Area 51. I'm like, I can't find out somewhere to just pull up to and put a listening device in there. Or, like I mentioned before, there are cars in the parking lot, but you never see anybody come to the cars. These cats have a secret bat cave where they goddamn go down in that motherfucker and they come back out in a whole nother separate location, bro. I've sat out there. You know what I'm saying? I sat out there for at least about 72 hours. I said, what the fuck? I'm trying to goddamn find out why Errol Spence gave him $1 million concession and I ain't seen no movement. Nothing, y'all. No cars pull up in there. Nothing. I got my binos out. I'm looking across the layer. I know it's some shit out there. I'm looking out that motherfucker. I said, I know it has to be some movement out this bitch. But no one came out to the parking lot. So I'm asking you all, how can the B-side, who hasn't fought anybody, nobody, Sean Porter, his last fight before the infamous David Avanesian that he stopped was in retirement. So that means he fought 2 unqualified fighters his last 2 fights. Sean Porter in retirement and David Avanesian just a placement. Unqualified to be considered reputable opponents. Like, so that couldn't have gave any more appraisal to why Errol Spence put $1 million? Bro, $1 million in the concession for a punch that haven't been thrown when the Errol sections continue to say, well, you know, Bud ain't did shit. His resume ain't did shit. Jules and Dongo wasn't shit. He ain't did nothing. But I asked this question to you, the aerosexuals. Why is your idol, your God, the boxer that you are enamored with, why would he agree to $1 million concession to the B side? Some of you think he the damn C, D, E, F elemental P side. Some of you niggas think he shouldn't even be in the ring. Y'all niggas is up here trying to act like, well, I hope, you know, some freak accident happened, man. You know what I'm saying? They strip him of the title and shit. So, you know, PBC can find somebody to fight for the vacant, man. You know, these are all the haters, man. But see, WCS, man, I have a legitimate, you know what I'm saying? I have a legitimate gripe with this. I'm trying to damn link all this shit up together, bro, without hiring a investigation team. I'm trying to do this shit dolo solo. How can a fighter that's considered a lower standard, a lower tier fighter, right, such as Bud Crawford, who has struggled for fight fans to respect the body of work and achievements that he's been able to accomplish, how in the fuck is someone offering this man $1 million concession and he hasn't threw a punch yet? July 29th. Let me get back to the chat before I get back to this audio. Facts, the best defense. I'm in welterweight division, but stays in the gym. Let's go. Shout out to Mark Nash TV on deck. Nothing the camp says make any sense. I agree with that. Bill's boot camp in the building. What's good with it? Shout out to Team Tucker, July 1st. What's good? Shaw News, the Sauce Experience, aka Showtime Shaw, the UGK Hot Grease. Smash the like button. You already know. Appreciate you, brother. Activate the like button. Does anyone anywhere in this chat, can you all please answer my question? Because this is not just, you know, a question that I'm suggesting, I'm putting out there, I'm disseminating out to the chat, but I'm asking the entire YTC universe. Can one of you, 2, 3, 5, 12, 17, however many channels that's out here, that's Bud hating channels, right? I am asking once again that you understand that the information that has been put out to the public, I have questions about. And one of those questions is this. 5 years ago, Spence said they made $1 million bet. He said he was the one who made the concessions. Listen again.
And a lot of
saying that he made this fight happen. Who made the fight happen?
it definitely it definitely was me. Because I made concessions to make the fight happen, and it was basically my decision that the fight was gonna happen because basically even we had the bet 5 years ago. I gave them that and some, to make this fight happen. So, and a lot of the people who on the business side of it didn't think that I was gonna make that concession, but I did. That was the deciding factor to make the fight happen.
So if it wasn't for you, the fight wouldn't have happened?
Definitely. But we're here now, and I feel like, yeah, it wasn't for me to make the fight happen, but it was definitely a group effort, us getting on FaceTime, us talking it out and basically putting our pride down and dropping our egos and, just making this fight happen for the fans. And we made this fight happen for the fans. The fans got to, show why there is a reward in taking risks and, the best fighting the best and, getting back to everybody fighting each other and make great fight happen. So,
Final question.
So I return. Sticking Boys Fishing and Sports on deck. What's good with it? Conquest 2 on deck. What's good? AU on deck. Salute from Detroit. Boxing fans on deck. Tyrese on deck. That's why Spence complained about having to pay the sanctioning bodies. He got paid 9% in fees to get his ass whooped by Crawford and give Crawford more money. Spence trying to get all his money. Interesting. You know what I'm saying? Interesting assessment. You know what I'm saying? He has come on deck and he started mentioning a 9%. But I say F the 9%, because when you was taking the easy route, your advisor didn't tell you, man, when you pick up all these belts, mine, it's going to be a 3% on each one of mine. And not to forget, you're going to get me in my percentage, which is 33 1/3. According to how I'm feeling, you got to give me mine too. You know what I'm saying, mine? So yeah, each sanctioning body gonna get 3% off the rep. I'm just so you still want to go on this undisputed tour? Yeah, I gotta do it. Yeah. Okay, I'm just saying, don't complain about the percentages, but I'm gonna get my money right after they get their money. You understand me, mine? So that's where we at with it. You know what I'm saying? 9%. All of a sudden, the aerosexuals are silent. These are the guys who was all in 2022 invested full-time investment on talking about numbers. But I haven't heard them talk about the damn 9%, nor have I heard you talk about this $1 million concession, bro. I need just an answer that will appease my mind, bro. Why would you do that for a fighter that's unqualified? Derrick James say Terrence is a built fighter. I guess when you build up a house and the appraisal value, it's in the right area, and the appraisal value go up. I think that was a good bill. That was a good bill right there, because that's what you call an investment. So somebody built up an investment property when it came to Crawford. You trying to tell me they invested? Somebody invested in that and building up that fighter, and now the appraisal value has went up. Please, can I ask the question to the aerosexuals and any type of qualified boxing holders out there? I'm talking about placeholders, associates, business holders, staff, faculty, security. I'm asking you all that is close to the situation. Why did Errol Spence provide this man with $1 million concession? Can somebody please get with the managers so I can get an answer before July 29th? I would definitely like to do a live on it. It's a great question, bro. And Blunt's made a good point. Like, yeah, sanctioned bodies got to get the 9%. But the $1 million is more important. That's where my interest is at right now. Because Crawford has been criticized. So why with the criticism, you think that if you criticize someone over and over again, it turns into a compliment? No, that's not the way the shit works. How and why did Errol Spence agree to insert the $1 million agreement, and Crawford hasn't even thrown a punch in Errol Spence's direction because July 29th hasn't arrived yet? Somebody has the golden answer. Please provide it to me. Go out here and seek these managers as in the YTC. I want to hear the business of boxing. If y'all can do that for me, please seek out those individuals who can explain the business of boxing when it comes to this $1 million concession. How is the B side being allowed to get this type of royalty? Errol Spence? How and why is Bud Crawford able to get $1 million concession? I want to know the W, the H, and the Y. Imagine that. I want to know, why was he given the $1 million concession? As I move on, the concession, but not without the rematch in there. So if he loses, he got a chance to get his money back, and he won't have no belts, so he won't have to pay no sanctioning fees. I partially disagree that, Blunts. I partially disagree, because we are without answers for what? The concession. So, excuse me, not one time, Blunts, has I heard Errol Spence say, well, the rematch, this is what this is going to be. This is how much I'm going to get paid. This is what he's going to get paid. That's the rematch. I haven't heard him present that to us yet. I don't know, how and who and what I'm going to get paid. We haven't, that hasn't been disclosed. It hasn't been put out to the general public. So I'm still like trying to figure it out. I'm still trying to figure this shit out. Like, forget the rematch and him getting his money back. How is he going to get his money back? What is the split? Because I haven't even got to the split yet. That question was proposed too. So being that I'm trying to find out the answers to the $1 million concession, also the question was proposed about the split. Let me get back to the audio, y'all. Let me get back to this audio.
But I figured the other way. Do you feel the same thing, that this is actually the perfect time for this fight to take place as opposed to being too long?
Oh, it's definitely the perfect time, because this fight would have happened 5 years ago. I mean, what we would have fought for. I mean, people glamour over the title so much, so I would have fought for the WBO. I had the IBF, he had the WBO.
You just said what y'all would have fought for, right? So let's go back a little short flight, you know what I'm saying, over the Bermuda, because it got a little bit fuzzy. So what y'all would have fought for, just like you said, would have fought for the unified titles. You would have fought for the WBO to unify. He would have fought for the IBF to unify. Therefore, that fighter who's unified would have somehow, some way, potentially fought for the other two belts. Or that fighter who lost, Errol Spence, he could have fought for the remaining WBC or the WBA title. It all depends. But you're saying what you would have fought for. Well, guess what? We already found out what you was fighting for. You was fighting to take the easy route, and you completed it. Kudos to you. You know what I'm saying? For going the easy route and leaving Terrence Bud Crawford off of that list, because in nobody's freaking narrative that he would have been considered easy. Not even Errol considered him to be easy. He knew that he was a high risk. Which brings me to this point right now. I said the easy route ruined you. I'm still on point with it. Because how can you make the easy route so difficult at the end and you coming off money that you're supposed to be getting? If you did all this belt lifting and earning all these titles, the IBF, WBC, and the WBA, right? Wouldn't it get down to the WBO for a guy who's just been sitting down here in the basement? Wouldn't you just slide that damn food up, that contract up under the door and that little food, that little dessert that you gave him, say, sign this right here. Just sign that, man. I got around to your ass. Sign that. And I gave you some ice cream and cookies. Sign that shit for me. You don't need no goddamn attorney for that shit, man. All it's telling you is that we're gonna fight, right? We're gonna fight, and you're gonna get a flat fee, or whatever we choose to give you, 70-30, 80-20, 90-10, whatever we want to give you. Just sign that contract, man. I'm telling you, I wouldn't do you wrong. I'm just trying to figure out, when you completed the easy route, with everything you just said in the presser, how and why to all the managers, why is Bud Crawford receiving $1 million concession to make this fight? When he said he called up Spence to get this ball rolling, I'm not going to find from anybody from Team Crawford or Team Spence, but maybe there's been individuals that was eavesdropping, double agents, snitches. This is the opportune time for you to gain some honor. Okay, this is okay for you to snitch on snitches. Okay, if you have been somewhere in the proximity and you overheard information as to why Spence offered Terrence and approved the $1 million concession, which happened 5 years ago, can you please drop that off on my DM? I will compensate you. Okay, I will keep your name anonymous. If you have this information, you will be compensated after I verify it. I want to know why this man is getting all this royalty treatment. That's all I want to know, bro. I think Triple G, Broke Kales, correct me if I'm wrong. Shout out to Donald on deck. Say you're on point, bro. Appreciate you, big dog. C Wood on deck. Well, my comments ain't coming up. Shout out to C Wood in the building. That makes no sense, especially after all that tape. What we give you, boy, talk. 80, 20, 70, 30 talk, shaking my head. That is true. Showtime. Maybe, you know what? Maybe I've been looking in all the wrong places. Maybe you have the answers. Since you at that time and place had connections to certain individuals that were related on the family tree, maybe you overheard. I don't want you to say it on here, right? I don't want them to single you out. But if by chance, when the live end, you want to drop an anonymous administrative submission to me, I will keep your name. I will keep your name out of the spotlight on the YTC. I will keep it anonymous. I promise. I promise. If you have any type of information from someone over there in the world-class Area 51 facility, I want to know how the B-side of Terrence Crawford is getting $1 million concession and he doesn't deserve it, per the aerosexuals and the naysayers is mongering around mad and angry. How is this man getting all this treatment? How did he influence Errol Spence? I need answers, bro. Can y'all do me a favor? Can you find all the qualified managers, advisors, team members Anyone who can give you some solid, concrete information as to why does Bud Crawford meet these qualifications per the words of Errol Spence Jr. How, man? I don't get it. I don't get how this shit works, man. I don't get it, man. Shout out to the XO Factory in the building. In my Allen Iverson voice. Concessions. Concessions. We talking about concessions? Yes, we talking about concessions, brother. This type of concession right here, I mean, it's larger than boxing right now, because being that Terrence Crawford is one of the most popular topics on the YTC, I have to do further research to try to figure out why certain aspects to the criticism, XO, isn't adding up. I'm trying to find out. I'm trying to do my own independent research, man, before I go invest my money in a search team to investigate the answers that I am looking for. That's all I'm trying to do. And my question, XO, is if Crawford is the B side and he hasn't did it enough to be the A side, and he only has one belt at the welterweight division, why did Errol Spence agree to provide him $1 million concession, bro? So he's just giving away money? Why would he do that? Why would he do it? Is my question. Why would he do it? Let's get back to the audio.
You know, I feel like it's just been, two good fighters fight each other, but, you know, I wouldn't have fought Sean Porter, I wouldn't have fought Danny Garcia, none of the other guys, and he wouldn't have fought the guys that he fought, so it's been nothing to compare each other to. And it's just been, two guys fighting each other, but now.
That's not entirely correct. That's not entirely correct, because, the guys that Bud Crawford fought, he did take a lot of O's from these guys, and they was quality opposition. Quality opposition that to this day, with his title defense, since defeating Jeff Horn, he has stopped all his opponents, to include Jeff Horn. But you didn't really have to fight those other guys, especially Danny Garcia. There was no reason for you to fight Danny Garcia. Well, if you want to talk about Sean Porter, cool. Sean Porter had a belt, like you said. But so did Terrence Crawford, though. So you and Terrence could have very well fought. It would have been great. Maybe you wouldn't have gotten all the attention that you're getting right now after letting this shit sit at room temperature for so long. Maybe people wouldn't be buzzing the way it is now. And you might be absolutely right and saying it's the right time. Okay, cool. We think it's the right time. But to say it wasn't no other way you can go because you chose the easy route, that was your selective process to take the easy route. That was your selective process.
We fight for all the markers. We're in our prime. He's more experienced. I'm more experienced now. And, it's just a recipe for a great fight.
So Errol said that Terrence Crawford is more experienced. So all I'm asking, Errol, is that you send a PSA out to the Errolsexuals, right? Your fan base, some of them, and allow them to pretty much compliment and caveat to what you just said. Terrence Crawford has more experience too, right? You have more experience and Bud has more experience, right? So going off the fact that you and your trainer attempted to downplay that same experience that you just praised him for is very contradicting. That's all I am saying. I'm just putting this shit out there, bro. Y'all say he ain't fought nobody, but you say you're going to give him experience from the opposition that he's faced since he's been at welterweight. I don't see how that argument makes any sense. Which one is it? Did he get experience from fighting lower tier opposition Did he or didn't he? Was he a built fighter or a developed fighter? Did he learn something from fighting these fighters at welterweight or not? Is he still? Are you just gonna expunge the 140-pound division, 147, and just take him back to Ricky Burns? Because y'all didn't give him credit for that either. So my biggest question to this whole puzzle is, you say he gained experience, so you need to spread that gospel out to the haters and let them know that you believe he did get experience off this opposition up to welterweight. They are qualified opposition that he fought. They were. So when y'all sit up here and say he didn't fight nobody, how is he gonna get experience off fighting nobodies when he's stopping them the way he did? So what is it? Did he get experience from him or didn't he get experience from him? I don't get it. I wouldn't even bring this up if y'all wouldn't have said what you said at the presser. But you said he ain't fought nobody. So how can he get experience off of fighters that was beneath him?
A lot of them made it negotiations. What was the split you guys decided?
I don't know. That ain't in the news yet. I'm not the person to tell you, brother.
So that person asked what the split was. Good question. Awesome question. Does anybody in the chat know what the split was? That's all. Does anyone know what the split was? Just like, does anyone know why $1 million was just gift wrapped and presented to Crawford for a future date? Does anyone have, just somewhere close to me getting the answer that I'm looking for? How do you come off for $1 million to a B-side opposition that has not did anything when it comes to the haters, these aerosexual haters that has been pushing this freaking wheelbarrow narrative for the longest of time? But yet, when they come out in these presses, once the official fight date is on deck, the information is coming out. It seems like Bud is once again proven that he's negotiated in good faith. Because how in the hell, the narrative y'all been pushing, he's negotiating in bad faith and moving funny, but your man's right here, Crawford-Spence, just said he provided him with the concession of $1 million bet they made 5 years ago. 5 years ago, and July 29th has not even came to date. It's pending on the horizon, and we're still, WCS is still trying to say, like, why in the hell? How can he pull that off? Something ain't adding up. Something ain't adding up, y'all.
Man, I don't think so. I mean, I've been through worse and haven't fought lose yet. I'm not the person to tell you, brother.
Chan, what do you think will be the biggest difference maker in this fight? Is it your jab, your defense, your ring IQ? What separates you?
I feel like it's gonna be a multitude of everything. I mean, it's gonna be ingredients of everything in. It's gonna be the jab. It's gonna be ring IQ. It's gonna be fundamentals. It's gonna be who can stay focused. It's gonna be award nutrition. It's gonna be everything coming together. And I feel like the best fighter is gonna win. Whoever can just stay focused and who can endure, and who's gonna be ready to put it all on the line when they have to.
Chan, we have to lay up for player fact.
I like that. It is going to be a war of attrition. Who's staying focused? Better game plan. Overall ring IQ. You know what I'm saying? Who can make the proper changes that affects their opponent and benefits the one who's collecting the data? You know what I'm saying? It's going to come to a collective list of items. You know what I'm saying? And that's what we were looking for. I agree with Spence on that. It is going to be a lot to deal with for both fighters. You know what I'm saying? This is the creme de la creme at the end of the day. It's the creme de la creme. So it's going to take a whole entire package, man, for them to unpack as the fight go along, as long as it lasts. I cannot foresee this fight going the distance. I can't. I can't foresee this fight going the distance. Is it impossible for it? Is it impossible? No, it's not impossible for it to go the distance. It's not impossible at all. But the only thing I've been on here attempting to find out was that it's just a lot of areas that was spoken on that was considered criticism, and the way y'all was sitting up here running a smear campaign. Y'all said this man was moving funny and negotiating bad faith. But why is your favorite fighter on record as saying that he gave him the $1 million concession? Does any channel out there have answers? I'm just asking and proposing this. Does any one of the pro Spence channels that talk bad about Bud every day, do you have the answer to my question? That's all I need to know. If he's been negotiating in bad faith, moving funny, took too long to leave Top Rank, Spence comparing this man, saying he's gonna break his will, he gonna break him like Kunta Kinte. You know what I'm saying? Spence is joined on the slave trade. You know what I'm saying? He's joined in. You know what I'm saying? He's joined in. But can any one of these channels out here that are full-time Bud Crawford haters, is there any way you can take just a time out and answer my question? Why would $1 million concession be proposed in the agreement in benefit of that of Terrence Crawford? If you can answer me that, we'll be good until the next time I release another thumbnail and talk about some different topic. I'm just saying we'll be good. But right now, I'm gonna continue to talk about this topic because a lot of shit that y'all was pushing, the bullshit toilet ass narratives that you was pushing, that shit is being flushed down again, bro. It's not making any sense. Y'all was up here line over again, and none of the shit you was saying was making sense. Y'all was busy hyping up what Charlo said. Learn how to humble yourself, be quiet. You know what I'm saying? Take less money. And now both of these fighters about to get paid more than Charlo will ever get paid in his career. Not only that, maybe Charlo can answer this question. Jamel, is there any way do you have the answer as to why? And also I want you to do this since you're close to the camp, Jamel. Maybe you can ask how this was able to happen, being that he has such a strong team and you all be bragging about how he has Al Hammond as his advisor and Terrence Crawford has nobody. I remember hearing y'all brag about that shit. Oh man, who the fuck Bud think he is? Asking for transparency. You know what I'm saying? He don't have the right to ask for transparency, to look at the books. How dare him? But now you all are very, very quiet and silent on this matter, because this is when you should be vocal. This is the opportune time for you to be vocal and present those analogies. If you said the man don't have the right to look at the books, he doesn't deserve the transparency because he ain't did shit in his boxing career. So prove to me that the guy that was up here giving this information was a clone. Prove to me that was a clone, because he admitted that he gave this man, he made the fight to get this man $1 million upon other concessions that was made. So how does that work though? Aerosexuals, how did this all work, man? Y'all was saying this man don't deserve to see the books. How dare him? He's stupid as hell. He don't deserve any type of extra oversight to make sure that he ain't being ripped off. But yet these are the same people that's saying Bud negotiating in bad faith. He was at top rank, the plantation, and they treated him like shit. Every type of freaking defamatory remark that you can come up with, it's been said on the YTC about Bud. But y'all are being cowards at the end of the day because you refuse to speak about both sides. How can Spence come out here and say that he gave him $1 million concession? That is my question. If you unwilling to do it, that's you in full outfit as being a coward to this topic, because it's freely accessible to you to speak on any other time when 2022 was active and y'all was finding out all this supposedly leaked information and the 65-35 and what he deserved and don't deserve and all this other shit. Now I'm challenging you to find out why the same fighter that you was boasting and bigging up last year, what would provoke him to agree to $1 million concession? Crawford couldn't have bullied him, because the last time I checked, y'all was up here laughing your ass off, saying that he didn't have no representation. Y'all said Crawford walked over there with a member on his team that he didn't even have no idea who they were. Y'all was calling this man every type of dummy in the book. Y'all was criticizing the shit out of him for not even knowing a member of his team. And you was up there, you say, what did he expect? Al Heyman ain't gonna put up with that shit. What the fuck he think this is? You think you gonna go over there with no promoter and negotiate with Al Heyman? This nigga don't know shit. Negotiating in bad faith once again. But look, he still came back without a manager. He still came back to the table with representation, absent of a promoter, and made the fight happen. Now, whatever Spencer's saying, I'm not here to debate what he's saying. All I know on ESPN First Take, Crawford put it out there that he called Errol up first. I even presented this to him because I wanted to know myself. What made you call this man up? And he said it was good time. It was perfect time to call him up. So Errol did not call up Errol Spence first. I mean, Errol did not call out Terrence Crawford first when it's talking about to communicate. He didn't call him up. But he is taking credit for the negotiation effort that he made. And when I heard when I heard it, it was so puzzling to me. I said, this cannot be true. It's no way possible this could be true, because it's been so much talk about how dumb Crawford is when it comes to negotiating his worth, and how the demands was considered to be strict stupidity, ignorance on the part of Bud Crawford. I'm wondering, can you still rise to the occasion right now and tell me, how is Spence giving this man $1 million concession and July 29th is over a month away? I'm just curious, bro. Shout out to Mr. Gumbo, aka Hot Grease, Mr. Sucker Free on deck. What's good with it, Gumbo? He paying his bet with Bud off now because he knows he's gonna lose. I would hope that, you know, I would come to, like, if I was in a different setting talking about this post fight, you know, cool. But it's just extremely strange to me that he would put this information out here so freaking early. Like, man, it's so early for him to, because I talked about this, right? I mentioned it on my live, man. Before this presser even took place, I said, I wonder if they're gonna, you know, talk about the bet. Of course, I didn't let people know I was gonna be there, but I even forgot to ask the question myself when I was there. But I was like, I wonder, do they still have that bet from 5 years ago? And then here comes Spence, and he answers the question. But the way he answered the question, it left a lot of aerosexuals bewildered. It put them in a state of shock. They requested to go to the padded white room with their own personal straitjacket. They requested admission. So much to the point where people were saying that we can't accept any anymore. We can't accept anymore. The rooms are filled. All the helmets have been taken. We're talking about a 48-hour hold. This is going to be brutal. What is going on? Why? What is the cause of this? And I'm asking the same question. When the aerosexuals start to go crazy after hearing this information, why isn't the thumbnails front and center? And I'm getting a full-blown explanation from the experts. How and why does Bud Crawford, the B-side, get $1 million concession in his contract, and he hasn't even thrown a punch in the direction of Errol Spence for this undisputed championship showcase? Somebody explain that shit to me. Maybe Mr. Gumbo has it. Maybe Mr. Gumbo has the answer. Errol Spence trying to use that top-ranked Toby bullshit. Hey, man, they want to talk about Kunta Kinte, bro. You know, last time I checked, Kunta Kinte pretty much stayed there because, you know, they cut off half his right foot. I'm just saying now. Crawford didn't stay at top rank, and they was trying to put it out there like he was at, you know, some plantation. That's one of the best promotions out there, period. Point blank, hands down, man. You know what I'm saying? Especially when it comes to media. Shout out to Bob Arum, man. The triple OG. Bud ain't losing on his mama's birthday either. I know this for sure. Hey, man. Hey, Andy, I can't disagree with you, man. You know, for some people, that would be pressure, but not for Bud, man. You know what I'm saying? It's no pressure, man. It must have been a clone for real, Toby. It must have been a fucking clone, bro. I'm trying to do process of elimination. Why be mad at me? All the cloning that's been going on, I say, you know what? I'm channeling my Brian Custer. It seems like Spence might have been a clone. I heard WCS mention it. Now it makes sense to me. It may have been a clone because to be honest, I don't think Errol would have ever made $1 million concession. To be honest, I'm just being clear. I'm saying, y'all, I think Errol has a history of losing focus and mouthpieces. I don't remember a time Bud lost focus. Yeah, he did turn around and look for those devices that he had, you know, locked in orally. He did against Danny Garcia. He did against Urdinas Ugas. You are absolutely correct. But one thing I need to say, XO, if you ask me, do I give a damn? I'm going to tell you, no, I don't. Please look for the mouthpiece. Please do that against Bud Crawford. Look for the mouthpiece. And so I can stand up and get closer and see what's going to happen after you attempt to look for the mouthpiece. EMT, please. Medics. Medics. Do that shit with Bud, dog. Do it with Bud, man, for real. Go look for your mouthpiece. I dare you. Go ahead. Turn your back. Turn your back. You're right, bro. Andy Bud losing on his mom's. Let me see. We need answer from these alphabet boys and the aerosexuals. For real, dog. Help us to find out the solution. There's answers that's out there. There's people that knows the answers. I know there's 1 or 2 or 3 snitches that's out there that overheard, man. I know there's some snitches out there, man. Then you just have to hit me up in the DM, man, and remain anonymously, and I'll give you the settlement. I'll give you the settlement price. You know what I'm saying? I'll give you the numbers. I have to validate it first. You know what I'm saying? I have to validate that what you're telling me is true. Okay. That's all I want to know. Like, I know it's someone that may have had a sidebar conversation with Spence and that he disclosed this information to them. And that person departed the conversation and told another person. And then that person told another person. So this was mouth to mouth transmission, sidebar conversations. Somebody out there knows some answers. And like I said before, all you got to do is remain anonymous. But why did Errol Spence agree to $1 million concession? That's all I need to know, man. That's all I need to know. That's it. Just help us understand how did it all go down and why. That's all. Shout out to the apostles in the building. One Love WCS in the chat. The apostles in the building to live the hands and spread the good news of boxing. Can we all say amen? Yes, indeed. Shout out to the apostles in the building. CMD Boxing Reports, what's good with it? Spencer's going to be looking for his eye once it pops out from a Craigslist hook. So what you're saying is that Bud is going to buy hooks off Craigslist in bulk for a discounted price, and he's going to put multiple hooks out there at a time. And just so happened, when Moby Dick swimming and not even paying attention to shit, one of those Craigslist hooks is going to hook that eye socket, and that eyeball is going to come popping out. I mean, it's a lot of scenarios we got, but you know what, CMD, I can't really elaborate on that. I don't want to talk about no eye, because you know what, all you're doing is giving the aerosexuals fuel to come up with excuses. You know what I'm saying? One thing about Errol, he did say he's okay. Let me see if he's mentioned this in the audio.
Man, I don't think so. I mean, I've been through worse and haven't fought, just like the car crash and the eye injury and other stuff that was going on, personally. So, I just feel like it just makes for a better story. So,
Crawford.
So you aerosexuals, this is for you. You just heard him say he's been through worse, which he has, and God bless him, returning to his family. That's real talk. That man has children just like I do. But I want to say this once again. I don't want any excuses. That's why I was telling CMD, don't bring up the eyes, bro. Don't bring up the eye, because they're looking for anything and everything to use as an excuse. Even though they won't give Kell Brook, they want to deny it, just like the Kell Brook situation. You know what I'm saying? Just like Bud asked him on stage, and Kell Brook wasn't broken. No. I broke the other eye. All you heard is chuckling. He thought the shit was funny. I broke the other eye. All right, cool. It's hilarious. He said he broke the other eye. So right now, in that same narrative, he say, so you facing a broken fighter. So he put himself out there to basically incriminate himself for having issues. You know what I'm saying? Potentially having issues against Bud Crawford. Because we know both fighters are coming in there to be at their best. You know what I'm saying? I ad-lib the shit out of this, but both fighters are coming there to pretty much give their best effort for all the crowns at the welterweight division. I'm just sticking to what I believe. I don't have to appease anybody else about my percentage on who's going to win. Like I said earlier today, in my eyes, it's not a 50-50 fight. I don't think of that any way, shape, or form is any less than 100% that Bud's going to go over here and win these titles, period. I don't have to sit up here and go with everybody else's narrative and cliche moments and them sitting up here just going off what's been a topic of discussion in the past, what people have said, how people play the safe mode all the time. Oh, I'm in safe mode right now. What you talking about? Safe mode. See, safe mode is this. I like Bud Crawford, but I think he's going to win. But my heart is with Spence. That's safe mode shit. So you're trying to tell me you can't pick a side? Once again, I told you. I've told you. I like Bud Crawford. But my heart is with Spence. No, we're not playing that game over here. You pick a side. People up here talking about, oh, I like both fighters. You can like both fighters, bro. But when it comes down to this fight, July 29th, when it comes down to the fight, why is it so difficult for you to pick a side like you're going to be watching the fight and you're going to be looking at the fighter that you want to win? Don't fake it. A lot of you dudes going to be looking at the fighter that you want to win. The whole damn fight. The whole fight. You're going to be wishing and hoping. Please. Please. Punch him. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, shit. Damn, already? I mean, you're going to be paying attention to the fighter that you like. Why can't you make a decision in the open, in the general public, and say, I'm going for this fighter? That's it. Then you come up here playing and leveling both sides, man, like you're unsure. You're in safe mode right now. Jump your ass out of safe mode and make a decision, goddammit. Who are you going for? Are you going for Crawford or are you going for Spence? I'm not here to persuade you either way. I just hear a lot of you all trying to play both sides like you're going to be the primary person taking criticism. I'm ready to take every bit of joy and glory with the Chauveau post-fight. I think that might be the only time that I ever get intoxicated on camera, for real. I might do something. Yeah, I might go get me a strain and goddamn get me a good one too. For real. I might get me some shit that's made out of motherfucking space rock. Some shit that ain't never been smoked before. For real, I'm gonna try some different shit, man. I might just get fucked up on live, goddammit. I might attempt to try to go to the moon spiritually. I might, I ain't gonna lie, I might, on the 30th, check in and begin my first day of ayahuasca. Because listen, it's the way my mind is gonna feel. I need to experience it in a moment of psychedelics. I need the most potent psychedelics possible. So I might go see a shaman and say, hey, sir, I'm here to go to the full blown. I want you to explore what I'm thinking and what I just witnessed on July 29th. Please give me your homemade psychedelics so I can go to places that I have never been before. Knowing that I will have this thought process on my mind from Vegas, that will be the perfect time to take a short flight over to the rainforest and begin my ayahuasca venture while my mind is still fresh from the fight. For real. I want to be able to see it up close and personal, like I'm right there in the ring. You know what I'm saying? I want to see the expressions, you know what I'm saying? When punches are being landed. I want to be able to bend over and look in the eyes of Spence as he's looking up at the lights. I just want to know what his expression looked like, bro. You know what I'm saying? I want to give the count just beside the referee. 3, 6, 9. I want to be there counting right along with the referee, man. That's what I want that ayahuasca to do for me. I want them that psychedelics to take me right. I want to be able to levitate. I want to be right there, man. If anything is being said from Derrick James over there, I want to be able to hear clearly. Stay down. Stay down. It's better to get knocked out than take punishment. Stay down. I want to be able to hear that shit. I'm being honest, man. I'm gonna check into ayahuasca, shit, the real shit. And for real, I'm taking my thought process out this world, man. For real. I want to be able to hear everything like I'm experiencing firsthand. Concessions for the ass whooping Arrow's about to take. Hey man, you know what I'm saying? For sure, bro. You know, Kell Brook also said he was okay, but we want to talk about the eye. Hey, Kell Brook had no other reason. He had no other alternative but to say he was okay because he took the fight. He got a paycheck, and they was going to approve him for medicals. You know what I'm saying? It's been plenty. I always bring up Israel Vasquez on how he was coming back to fights early before his eye was totally healed. But, you know, he needed the money, man. He needed to get back in the ring. It happens all the time. So he ended up losing that eye after he hung up the gloves. You know what I'm saying? Sugar Ray Leonard could have very well had some eye issues if he didn't take time off. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? I'm just putting it out there. I'm hoping David Hay is picking Errol Spence. That is hilarious, man. Toby said, I hope David Hay is picking Errol Spence because I never know him to get a prediction right. Damn, that's hilarious, man. That'll be good for stand-up comedy, man. Cam, you might want to use that one right there, man. That's some funny shit. I don't know. Your audience have to be, and they have to have some inclination or be closely familiar with the boxing. But that shit right there is funny. I don't know if the crowd will laugh at it because a lot of people over here don't know who David Hay is. You know, I'm talking about the consensus, so to speak. You know, just a casual boxing fan. But that'll be funny. I ain't gonna lie. That'll be funny. That'll be funny. Because he basically, you know, saying the man never get a damn prediction right. So he hope he's picking Errol Spence. Oh man, that's hilarious, dog. Salute the chat. W says the fish fries near July 29th will be a holiday. It will, Juice. You know what I'm saying? It will, bro. It will, absolutely. It's going to be one of the most grandest fish fries ever. Oh, that shit going to be so crispy. Woo, that shit going to be so crispy. I hope they allow me to have lunch, you know, doing my ayahuasca. Because all I'm going to do is say, I want some fresh fish that y'all just caught. Leave the head and everything, clean it out and everything, leave the head and everything on there. You know, I'm getting the full fresh fish fry effect while I'm under the influence of psychedelics. You understand me? I'm going all in on this shit. I want to be able to levitate over the fight that I just witnessed as if I'm there and it's just starting, goddammit. I want that shit to take my mind to places that I just didn't experience physically at the time. For real. I'm going to pay for the best shaman, bro. The best. $79 on deck. Salute to you, brother. Joseph on deck. Salute W says Bud is ready right now. He said it, didn't he? Didn't he? Didn't he say it? Don't act like y'all didn't hear him. He said, I'm ready tomorrow. You know, I'll fight tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? He basically put it out there, but you know what I'm saying? We don't want to bring up that, you know, they're in fight camp right now. They did their rounds. You know, they got their rounds in with the interview. That's why, you know, I said that once they step down in front of these radio shows, there's going to be more content to talk about. And we've been exposed to new content that has been pretty much trampled on out here in the YTC. We've been able to hear the truth out of the person's mouth themselves, out of Errol Spence and Crawford. They have been able to confirm some things themselves. So we're not going off third party. We're going off strictly first person, telling you and answering the questions that we've been talking about on the YTC for quite some time, right? That's amazing. That's great, bro. That's great. I ain't gonna lie. That's great. And it's content. But WCS, all I'm doing is I'm just putting it out there, right? I'm saying, hey, listen, how is this going on? Why is this happening? It's just not adding up with all the criticism that was precipitated over a period of time, right? That has flooded the YTC. How is it possible that you all was absolutely wrong about Bud? You know, you said the man didn't deserve this, he didn't deserve that. But if he didn't deserve transparency, is it not clear enough? Is it not translucent that Errol Spence said that he gave that man, he put it in the agreement, the bet that they made 5 years ago? Is that not translucent? What's not clear about this shit? Is it not important to note that y'all say he didn't deserve transparency? So what you heard from Errol Spence, was it not clear enough, man? It had to be clear. How can the B side get all this royalty treatment for $1 million bet that was supposed to be to the winner? Is there something conspiracy theory that's out there that y'all don't want to talk about? I mean, how are we going to narrow this down? How can he get B-side royalty like he's the A-side? That's not making any sense, man. Seriously, it's not. Shout out to Martin King Boxing in the building. What's good with it? Ron on deck. The champ is right chill in America, and he's from a small town called Foot Up Your Ass. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Stomping on your neck. You know what I'm saying? T-Bud country in the building. Johnson say, isn't he a heavyweight? Yeah. David Hay is a retired heavyweight, or whenever he chooses to come back for a check. You know what I'm saying? Very translucent, transparent. Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? God damn it, with these aerosexuals, please answer the question. These aerosexuals must be fly over the Bermuda Triangle. They need to, man. Don't fly over the Bermuda Triangle. You need to fly to and dip down and place yourself center mass and try to figure out what's going on. I mean, it's going to get weird and strange. You're probably going to see some shit that you don't want to talk about again in your life. But WCS is asking that you all get together with your committee and answer, why does a B-side guy like Bud Crawford, who negotiated in bad faith, you know what I'm saying, who moves funny, Funny, that's what y'all said, he moves funny, how is he able to have influence over Errol Spence in this particular matter? Being it's such a high-end conversational piece. This is a high-end conversational piece. How is he able to influence the guy who y'all was saying shouldn't give Bud anything? He shouldn't do anything special for him. Bud hasn't earned it. How can he continue to get what he wants? He continue to get what he wants, and y'all can continue to criticize him. You know, he accepted 65-35 and taking that pay. Y'all was mad. Y'all was saying he was holding up the fight and all that. Well, y'all can't use that narrative no more, because it seems like Errol is pretty much putting himself as the front runner in having control of firing the gun. Yeah, he was the starter. That's what he's trying to say. All because of him, he was monitoring and controlling the starting point to make this fight happen. He's taking credit for that. So y'all can't sit up here and blame Crawford and say, the reason why, because Errol Spence said he was waiting on Crawford. No, he said he made all the concessions, and because of him, the fight was made. Shout out to Rice Eater 79 with the $5 super chat in the building. Facts is, if Spence didn't give Bud what he wanted, he have to face Boots, who would KO him for pennies and no belt. Thank you, Rice Eater 79, for that super chat. But I have to absolutely partially disagree with that. The reason being, Rice Eater, I cannot sit up here and be influenced by a monetary donation to go against what I believe. Please don't take it personal. But I am looking at this and I'm saying to myself, Boost isn't proven. Now you have to look at it, Rice Eater, right? Boost isn't proven to be in there with the level of competition as Errol Spence Jr. or Bud Crawford. I have to keep it honest. So for Spence to say, I'm going to pay money to a tougher fighter, so I won't fight Boots, who's to say Errol Spence doesn't beat Boots? Because Boots haven't been in there with the competition. Now people hyped up that he's fighting Ramon Villa. Cool. But he hasn't been in there with either fighter to the liking of Terrence Bud Crawford or Errol Spence Jr. That's just the way it is. So I don't see Boots going in there knocking out Spence. I don't see it, brother. I don't see him going in there knocking out Bud. I don't see it. Real talk. I said this before. I've criticized Boots' resume just like I criticize other fighters' resumes. But I do not see him, just because people hyping it up, going in there, getting this easy victory over the older guys. I don't see it, man. But I appreciate your donation, big dog. Continue to do that. It is much appreciated. You know what I'm saying? Everybody else, don't be shy. You know what I'm saying? If you like the content, you appreciate it, donate to the channel at your own convenience, okay? Johnson said, yeah, he was a cruiserweight, then moved up. Y'all talking about David Haye? This is not a David Haye topic. Did you not hear Spence say, stay focused? Are y'all staying focused in the chat? You know damn well when we're up here putting out information for these aerosexuals, you have to be focused, man. Because one of them strays might come over here to the chat, and y'all have to have a keen sense of attention to detail, goddammit. Or else they'll come over here and try to take a piss in the chat under a false account. You know what I'm saying? Y'all got to be ready, bro. The dummies don't get it. Terrence Crawford is the epitome of excellence in boxing, and the Ali Act helped a little. Hey, man, he's one of the greatest of this era, and he's about to do something no other fighter has done in decades, man. Two-time. You know what I'm saying? Get it right. 2 is a higher value than 1, goddammit. I don't think you offended anybody by that. I've heard Errol Sexual refer to the Bud Crawford supporters in worse, way worse, you know what I'm saying, remarks and obscenities and profanity-laced tirades. Yes, but they didn't hurt our feelings because we understand that they have behavioral issues right now. I get it. I do. They have behavioral issues, and they get they stay upset so much, bro. And we're just talking about boxing. Like, I never heard so many people just issue threats and want to whoop somebody's ass just because of a boxer that no one has pictures with in their home. Like, nobody. Like, you don't have pictures with their kids. You don't have, high school children pics. You wasn't there when the kid was in diapers. It's no relationship back then. No, it doesn't even go personal like that. But these people want to get all like, dang, I've been knowing this guy for a full 8 months, nigga. I'm out here to defend life. I'm risking everything, bro. So you said 8 months? Yeah. Have you ever been to a fighting scene? No. Then I'm ready to risk it all on my kids, nigga. Oh, for real? On your kids? Just because of boxing talk on social media, you're going to go out here and take a life over a fighter that you never met before, never sat down and broke bread with, none. Well, if you mention like that, no, I ain't ready to do that yet. Because that would be stupid for me. Because he probably won't even show up to my court date. You motherfucking right. Sit your dumb ass down. God damn it. Don't come up here with that dumb ass shit no more. It's just boxing talk, for Christ's sake. Shit. On my dead puppy, nigga. I was going to be right there, nigga, on my dead puppy. I'll unhide. I think there's a accident. Who was hidden? Nobody should have been hidden. Do not hide. Why are you hiding Jonathan's message, Ron? I mean, they just talk about David Hay. Dude. Oh my God. Bruce Gas Boxer Jasper Boy. What's good with it, Bruce? OG in the building. Same reason Spence ain't fight Keith Thurman. They all have a familiar style, which is kryptonite to his, but none of them offer anything but Crawford. That boy too deep, the aerosexual fanboyism. Yeah, for sure. I do too, man. Fried catfish, that shit delicious, bro. Okay, for sure. I got you, Ron. I got you. Yeah, I like fried catfish too. That shit delicious, man. Even though they some nasty scoundrels, they be up here just goddamn policing the bottom. Ugh. But you know, the one thing about it, that hot grease kill a lot of that shit. Hey, that hot grease kill a lot of that shit, man. I ain't gonna lie, dog. That hot grease killed a lot of that shit. I don't taste it when I'm eating that shit with some shrimp fried rice. I don't taste that shit. You know, I said they say, oh man, if you eat a catfish, it's just like eating a pig. You know, them motherfuckers eat anything. I say you're right, but the hot grease, it takes care of a lot of that shit. You know, it cleans it up. You know what I'm saying? Just toss it in hot grease, man. It just wipes all that shit away. It just wipes the slate clean, man. All that dirty, contaminated shit they did, man. It goes the fuck away, bro. Real talk. Shout out to Haynes Legacy on deck, man. What's good with it, brother? Appreciate you pulling up. Shout out to you and the fam. But people, that is it. I'm sitting at about close to 2 hours, man. That's it for me on this. We shall do it again, of course. Can you do me a favor? Hit the like button on your way out. And also, if any one of you all find out this information from a credible source, because there's a lot of imposters out there, people. I want you to be extremely aware of this shit. It's a lot of imposters. But if you can get the answer to that question from why the B-side, Bud Crawford, was able to be the recipient of $1 million bet as a concession from the actual A-side opposition that is linked up to the Grand Poobah himself, Al Heyman. You know what I'm saying? How did this work? Because when Bud Crawford wanted to bring in the hedge fund and try to make all this work, they say, oh man, the lunacy of this guy. I hate him with a passion. He's bringing in hedge fund people to try to help the negotiation. Yeah, man, they was like getting crazy, bro. They was getting crazy. Seriously, they was getting crazy about it. They didn't want Bud to do anything. So now the B-side, the B-side is getting accommodated, and WCS, along with a lot of the people, don't know why. But if y'all end up finding out the information, I truly appreciate it. But that's all I got for right now. Y'all hit the like button, like, share, sub, and continue to support the channel. I'm out.